Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. The Denver Broncos get the win, 18-15 over the Texans. Broncos move to 7-2. Texans fall to 3-5. The big stories here, first off, Broncos pulling off another win, moving to 7-2. Texans lose C.J. Stroud pretty early in the game, gets knocked out of the game with a little half slide. We could talk about that play and some of the specifics there, but Davis Mills had to come in with the C.J. Stroud concussion.
Yeah, and kind of unfortunate because not just kind of, but unfortunate. Number one, because you lose C.J. Stroud to a concussion. Number two, Stroud was actually doing pretty well early in this game. Like we knew that Denver's defense is amazing, the best pass rush in the NFL. It was going to cause all kinds of problems for them. The ball was coming out fast early for Stroud and for the Texans. They had a 14-play opening drive, or the 14th play of the opening drive. There was a 3rd and 5. They got the first sack, missed a field goal, nothing to show for it. But they were actually moving the ball and showing that they could execute despite that defense. Now, would that have lasted for the entire game, or would it? The wheels have come off that. It's like a high wire act. Maybe not, but the fact that they were able to do it to begin with was an encouraging sign.
So, what did you make of the Stroud play? So he's scrambling, he's falling toward the ground, but he's not really sliding. He's more like flopping on his back. He gets hit pretty hard. Head hits the ground. It's a big hit. And then they overturned the flag. They originally called it a flag because it looked bad. And then they overturned it, and I think it was the right call because he wasn't really sliding. And he looked like he was half in, half out trying to slide. And, D'Amico Ryans and the Texans don't love it, of course. They were on the other end of it with
Right.
Alshire last year hitting Trevor Lawrence on the slide and getting suspended. I think it was the right call, though, because Stroud didn't really give himself up, and he looked hesitant, and that's the danger in either late sliding or not definitively giving yourself up. I think the officials actually got this right.
It was certainly nothing like the Alshire Trevor Lawrence play, right? Like that was a case of Lawrence slides, and then so late after that, Alshire comes in and just blasts him, and you're like, that is egregious. This was not that at all. This was a case, I think, where even if you say the slide is legit and it's all fine and that should be protected, it was so close to the slide where he hit him. Like, it's just the case. The only reason it was in any way, shape, or form iffy is because the hit was so hard that it was like a really powerful hit and ends up knocking him out of the game. But this was a classic. The NFL loves this term. It's a bang-bang play, right? Like, it was so close to him deciding that he was sliding or not that I don't think you can reasonably expect the guy not to deliver the hit. It was also kind of from the side, so it's not even like a head-on thing where you have to be expecting the quarterback to slide, basically. Like, he's coming in from the side. You basically earned the right to hit him at that point, I think, unless the quarterback clearly, gives you the heads up that the slide is coming and you can pull up. I think it was just a football play.
Yeah, I agree. I know we give a lot of crap to the officials because we focus on the misses. I think they've done a better job. I don't want to say over-policing because I hate that Stroud got hurt. Obviously you don't want that. And you said it wasn't anything like the Lawrence play last year. It was in result, obviously. It was a hard hit, head hits the ground. Like, it looked bad. It looked similar as far as the result. But you're right, it was different in mechanically.
And it wasn't like a hit to the head. It was just a hard hit.
It was a hard hit,
right.
And then he hit. But I think it's kind of on Stroud for not clearly. Like, you could tell he was thinking it. He was hesitating, right? And quarterbacks deal with that all the time as they approach the first down marker. Do you want to be that QB that slides 1 yard short or 2 yards short versus diving head first? But you got to stay healthy too. Like, you got to definitively give yourself up to protect yourself. But what I was going to say is I think the NFL's done a better job of understanding physics, understanding what defenders can and can't control, understanding that the quarterback has a hand in protecting themselves, and I think they've done a much better job along the sideline, other than like the Edgerrin Cooper play. Didn't he hit Bryce Young inbounds? But most of the time when
They picked up the flag, though.
they did, okay, I turned my head from it. Most of the time when a defender hits the quarterback along the sideline and he's still in bounds, they're not overly policing that as they used to and like shoving and pushing after the play. I think they're doing a better job of losing some of the silly penalties that they were giving out just for like, oh, it's late hit, it's a quarterback if it's anything close to the sideline. They're doing a better job of that, I think.
The funniest example of a quarterback sort of you could see the thought process in work at real time was Aaron Rodgers yesterday at one point.
Yeah.
Took off running in the tight red zone, thought he could scramble in for the touchdown, realized midway through, there's actually multiple Colts players that I'm not going to outrun because I'm old. And you could literally see him being like, do I launch at this goal line? Do I just turtle up and, hope they don't hit me? What do I do? Then just like hit the ground and multiple Colts like dive towards him. That was like, you could see the whole thing, like time slowed down. You could see him go through multiple options in his brain before finally just sort of hitting the ground and hoping he didn't get hit.
Because the one thing I did not get to experience as a professional athlete is feel like
getting hit.
No, feeling my skills diminish in front of my eyes. Like I retired because I just wasn't good enough generally. Yeah. Didn't matter if my skills diminished. It was time. It's time to get married and go work in football. But you got to imagine that's difficult, right? Like you feel the same. You're like, your body just doesn't. I used to be able, like that's a touchdown for Rodgers probably as a scramble 5 years ago,
it's
whatever.
Particularly when it's a speed thing that goes. If you had speed at any point and suddenly the speed is not there, there's a weird feeling where like things that you just don't make the place your brain doesn't adapt for some reason. Your brain never catches up to the fact that your body has slowed down. So you see something and you read the same angles, only you just don't make it to the same point anymore. So you get beaten by guys that you used to be faster than. It's a horrible feeling.
So anyway, obviously that's a huge play in the game. Davis Mills comes in, hits a bomb to Nico Collins, but the offense did struggle overall with him in there. I think Mills is a fine backup. But to your point, like the Texans had some rhythm, good start. You lose that with Stroud going out. They never really got the run game going to balance things out. But it was a good defensive battle this entire game, and then the Broncos pull their usual fourth quarter magic. So we talked about Bo Nix, man, he's so funny. All of it. He was 2 for 11 on 20-plus yard throws and 0 for 7 on 30-plus yard throws. And in the 30-plus yard throws, had one interception in there, but could have had a couple others. It felt like every time you're watching the game, you're like, there's an open receiver deep, and then the ball comes up like 10 yards short, and like the Kalen Bullock interception was just way short, and it was usually our guy Troy Franklin who had a couple steps on the defense. But Bo was missing short. It wasn't a Bofer throw. It was a Bunder throw? What was it? He was just underthrowing some of these deep passes early on, but he did hit the two key ones. I think his 2 touchdowns, a beauty to Cortland Sutton before the half.
What happened on that play? Derek Stingley looked like he was expecting a safety to exist that wasn't.
I don't know. I didn't look at the wide angle specifically. Then R.J. Harvey on one of those wheel routes for a touchdown as well. So the 2 for 11, like the throws that Bo Nix hit were huge. And then in a 15-15 game, of course, Bo Nix with his legs, man, just a beautiful scramble, 25 yards to set up the eventual game-winning field goal. The Texans had done a really nice job bottling up Nix. They roll him out to his right. Texans rush gets upfield just a little bit. Nix reads it great, runs back across the field, back the other way where there's nobody. And I'll just say the moving pocket for mobile quarterbacks is such a weapon. I usually hate the sprint out. But if you start to use that to your favor scrambling, like Nix did, and I want to talk about the Mahomes 4th and 17 later, it feels like another weapon offensive coordinators can tap into, which is just moving the pocket, but also fake moving the pocket and just like really, like if you have great pass rushers, keeping them off balance by moving the pocket around, and there's creative ways to do that. I thought that was just an example of Broncos move the pocket, Texans get upfield, and Nix takes advantage, and that set up his 2 runs, the scramble, and then the patented Bo Nix sweep route now, QB sweep with Bo Nix to set up the Will Lutz game winner.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when they get late in the game and they need something to happen, Bo Nix just takes over scrambling or using his athleticism. It's kind of amazing how much they lean on that late in the game. It looks like, Sutton, I think, just beats Stingley with an inside release. I think Stingley's expecting his release to go back outside, and then when it doesn't, he's just trailing by a couple of yards, and Sutton outruns him for the touchdown. It's an absolute dime by Bo Nix. It's also Donnell Hunter is like a fraction of a second away from destroying that play. He beats Garrett Bowles, I think, around the outside and literally grabs hold of Nix's shoulder pad as he's delivering the ball and tosses him to the floor.
It's like a great throw.
If that's a split second later, Donnell Hunter breaks the play and we get nothing.
I mean, that's why last week someone bringing up the Bo Nix discourse is all over the place because, again, it's like, man, some good, some bad. The deep ball was all over the place outside of those two throws to Sutton and Harvey. I also thought the other key play in the game, they were trying to feed Troy Franklin in this game. 10 official targets from the NFL, four catches for 27 yards. But one of Bo Nix's best throws was the two-point conversion.
A two-pointer.
To Troy Franklin. Strong hands from Franklin to catch it. That was a key one as well. So just enough plays from Bo Nix in this passing game for the Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely. They did. I mean, both defenses played really well. We expected it for Denver's defense. Houston's defense showed that they're at that kind of caliber as well. I was just checking. I think Chicago had more yards of offense than both these teams combined.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
It is amazing how different defenses can look generally. Like the Bengals in particular, I always describe it as it feels like you're playing with 10 men sometimes. There's always an open gap in the run game or wide open holes in the pass game, and you just don't – you see that from a couple defenses every year, the Cowboys, the Bengals this year. And then on the other hand, it's almost like every pass feels contested against good defenses, right? Every pass feels like a challenge. Every now and again you get one, obviously. But it just feels difficult. It feels like it's tight window, and it's like, man, it's a completely different game watching different defenses. That was it, defensive type of game.
And then the other thing here is Danico Autry with blocked kicks. John Todd, NFL, has a tweet that Danico Autry is the only NFL player to block multiple kicks this season, and he didn't debut until week 7. Autry now has 14 career kick blocks, which is more than twice as many as any other player since he entered the NFL in 2014.
Unbelievable. That's the type of thing I would have him on my team just for that.
Just for that.
35
years old. And
I don't like special teams unless I know you can block kicks.
It's not. I mean, he's not.
It's incredible.
He's not like unbelievably giant. Like he's 6'5", 265. We're not talking about a guy that's like 6'10". You know, it's not you out there trying to block kicks. Like there's no real rational reason why Danico Autry should be twice as good as any other player in the NFL through his career at blocking kicks, and yet he is.
He's always just been a good overall football player. He was like the epitome of the Vrabel Titans overachieving teams. It's like Danico Autry, 7 pressures in a game, block a kick, whatever it was to help them out. Looking ahead here, so Texans moved to 3-5. Now am I out on the Texans? I just screwing up my picks again because I took the Texans this week, didn't I? No, I took Denver. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. Texans moved to 3-5. And they have a positive point differential by a lot. By a lot. Texans they're in the Panthers don't make sense category.
I think
Falcons don't make sense.
They make perfect sense.
The point differentials that it's only good because of the Ravens game.
Right. I think their season makes perfect sense.
They should be
they
should still be better.
One of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and when they face a team that can't get pressure, they look really good. When they face a team that can get pressure, they struggle on offense, and if the other team can move the ball against a really good defense, they're in trouble.
Here's what the Broncos have coming up. They're 7-2, 1 game up on the Chargers, who are 6-3, and 2 games up on the Chiefs, who are 5-4. Broncos come back on a short week now.
The Chiefs, who are not in the playoff spots right now.
Yeah, if the playoffs started today,
no Kansas City.
The NFL loses a lot of money.
Oh, think how sad Nick Wright would be if the playoffs started today and there's just no Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I mean, if the playoffs start when they start, they might not be in it at this point. We'll see.
Nah, they will.
No, they probably will be. But here's what's at stake. The Broncos have the Raiders on a short week here. If they go to 8-2, they host Kansas City. Kansas City's on a bye. Kansas City's coming to town for Denver in 2 weeks. Chiefs are off a bye. Andy Reid off a bye. But the Broncos will be off of a Thursday game.
What are those numbers now? Because they've been making that point since he was with the Eagles.
I don't know. They just does the bye count for the Super Bowl? Like they just got smoked off the bye last year at the Super Bowl, so that must count, right? Or like after the extra week.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. But if the Broncos go into that game 8-2, against a 5-4 Chiefs team, and they get the win, you have a chance to put the Chiefs at 500, 11 weeks into the season, and put some distance. There's a lot at stake for Denver.
I mean, you might be able to knock them out of the playoffs.
We might
Not like officially, mathematically, but you might be the reason they don't make the playoffs.
Might need to get Perna on the show and talk Broncos here, headed into the Chiefs game. We should do Perna and Nick Wright head to head. Would that be some good football? Some good analysis, some good sports? That could be. Anything else on this one?
Nope. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.